Today is February 20th, 1996, and I'm here at the Ellis Island Oral History Studio with Mickey Herskovits, who came here in 1949 when he was 24 years of age. Mr. Herskovits is today 70 years of age, and this is Janet Levine for the National Park Service. And I want to say welcome, and I'm looking forward to your telling, I think, a very interesting story. Let's start with, if you would say for the tape, your birth date and where you were born.
If I make a remark even before that, you pronounce my name Herskovits. It's Herskovits. Technicality. It's difficult for you to pronounce it with my accent. I was born on March 1st, 1925. What was that question?
And where?
In the Transylvania section of Europe, which at times belonged to Romania, at times belonged to Hungary. This was switched back and forth territorial. When I was born, it was Romania. The name of the city was Oradea, O-R-A-D-E-A. Later, in 1940, when this turned back to Hungary, this neighborhood, it became Nagyvárad, which is a Hungarian version of the same city.
Would you spell Nagyvárad for the tape?
N-A-G-Y-V-A-R-A-D, which literally means there was a big, I don't know how to describe it, a big, like an army barrack, a huge one. And during the Turkish War before, many refugees came there. The word of Nagyvárad is three words. Nagy means big, Vár means that camp flag, Ad gives. In other words, they gave refugees. They gave refuge to people who ran from different places. That became the name Nagyvárad. Literally means the big camp gives.
I see. Interesting. Now, you lived in Oradea, or whatever its name was at the time, up until
we were deported. Okay. We were sent to Auschwitz, etc.
Okay.
Which was in 1944 on May the 29th, which we were put in the wagons. Another comment here, Romania at large did not deport its people, just with touching the subject of the Holocaust. Hungary sold out its Jews to the Germans. And we became Hungary in August of 1940. Consequently, in 1944, we were deported. In Nagyvárad, there were roughly about 32,000 Jews were divided in many different groups. Our group was the third one to be shipped out. Excuse me. And this was in Monday, May 29, 1944, arriving in Auschwitz the night of June 1st.
Well, maybe we could start first by talking about life in Oradea up until 1940. So that would be, you would have been 15, up until you were 15 years old. Well, first of all, maybe you could just give a little description of the town.
Well, even before that, my parents, may God revenge their innocent blood, father and mother. I am the oldest of three children, followed by a sister, followed by a brother. The town itself was a very nice town. They had all type of people, from cobblers and carpenters to singers and artists and merchants and a cross-section of everything, doctors, lawyers, dentists, etc. Living there was pretty harmonious. We had with fights on the streets.
There were a Jewish population and a non-Jewish?
We had a Jewish population and a non-Jewish population. The older generation seemed to get along better, Jews and Gentiles, than the younger. Younger one already under the influence of that time of the system and that time of the happenings. They were already a little bit more violent. They will stay under certain side streets in the evening to gang up on us and beat up. But still was, perhaps, it wasn't so major. It happened, yes. We lived in Aula. We went to school like every kid has to. and we could sneak away from school. We did that too, to play soccer, which is a predominant sport in Europe. And the life was there pretty much in a middle or lower middle class. Very few people were so wealthy that could afford every summer to go away on vacation. Those who were still home, maybe every 2-3 years they went away for a week or two. Some never went away. But the climate was not so bad. Now, some of you had a couple of hot days in the winter, a couple of cold days. Life was normal, quote unquote.
What was your father's name?
My father's name was David, may God bless his soul, and my mother's name Laura. Or, of course, they prevent the Jewish names, but doesn't.
Okay, what was your mother's maiden name?
Steiner. S-T-E-I-N-E-R.
And your sister?
My sister Claire. No, I'm anglicizing all the names.
Okay.
They're so different. And my brother Alexander. Yeah.
Now, what did your father do for work when you?
He was in business. Excuse me. Flour, not flour that you decorate the table, the one you bake with and cook with, and also imported coffee beans from Brazil. That was his main business till a certain time, till about 1943, under the Hungarian, which Jews were limited to what they can do, so the coffee import stopped, and it's still dealt in flour and some salt, which is a big item sold by the restaurants, coffee shops, etc.
Now, what about your religious life up until in these first 15 years? What was?
Well, over the first 15 years or later on, we was very Orthodox Jewish, observant, the Sabbath, the holidays, going to synagogue every morning and at night during the week, and a Sabbath and holidays again. This was practiced without interruption and upon religiously observed up till we were deported.
And how about you? Did you have a Jewish education?
Yes, the school system over there is special for the Orthodox kids. In the morning from about 8 or 8:15 till about 1:30 go to the secular classes, home for lunch, afternoon for about 2:30 or 3 till about 7 go to the Jewish education, or what you call here yeshiva ketana, that elementary and intermediate, etc.
Now, in other words, would you go to school with non-Jewish children in the morning?
No. We went to the Jewish community, built its own school, at least in my town. And it was very prominent, and we had only Jewish kids. In teachers, professors, we had, especially in the gymnasium, what you people call it junior high, we had the non-Jewish teachers as well. In elementary, only Jewish teachers. Then we had, for instance, for Latin, which is an obligatory subject there, we had the Romanian gentleman, and we had for the Romanian language, like he would go English, we had the Romanian gentleman. Music was a very good gentleman, a Romanian again. We had then for French, we had a French. Until today, I don't know if he was Jewish or not, but he was originally from France, and how he got lost in our section, I still don't know, but he was teaching French. But we had mix of teachers.
And how about, were the girls going to school?
Again, girls were going to school, of course, but not co-ed. Orthodox people don't go co-ed. The girls had their own school, which is about a block and a half from us. And at those days, we were still nice young kids. We didn't go after the girls yet. We were perhaps more interested in playing soccer than pull the girls' hair.
What else did you do for enjoyment besides the playing of soccer?
If one was wealthy, they had a bike and they rode the bike. There was no much more. I don't think in all the time I went to school, I remember only one kid ever playing tennis, meaning he had his own tennis racket, etc. A few of them would play instruments.
Like what?
Violin, that was the most prominent thing. And one fellow was with a clarinet or flute, I don't know, it was a wind instrument. And he played. But basically that was it. Either play soccer or you were in school. Or you were punished why you didn't go to school and you played soccer.
What about after school?